One, two, three, four. I was feeling schizophrenic one day that came to town. Christmas bells are ringing while the shopping malls closed down to pave the way for Santa's sleigh. The big man's mission sounds pretty tight. Get nothing if you're naughty, get something if you're nice. But sometimes these dates can feel like fables, 'cause there'll be big box toys for rich little boys, through the ones that get nothing, like the manners and lack the love. I asked myself and found an answer, 'cause everybody's someone on Christmas Day. But how do I get the cash it takes to feel that? So grab your guitar, let's go downtown. See the big Christmas tree while the plaza's emptied out, and play to tame the pointless ending. And we won't go to the movies, and if the tank runs out of gas, I swear I'm walking home or phoning for a friend. I've gotta give Santa's slaves a second to relax. Cause everybody's someone on Christmas Day, but not everyone has the cash it takes to feel that way. Don't buy me a toaster or a TV set, but I could probably use a pair of socks.
All
I
right.
love that it announces.
Yeah, I'm glad the CIA is telling us that we are indeed recording. Welcome, folks, to the Garret Schuelke podcast. I am your host, Garret Schuelke, and hey, it's the final episode of the season. Fourth season. Yeah, I think I got it right. Yeah, fourth season of Powerful GSP is coming to an end. Next one's coming up. And it's also December. So, know what that means?
The solstice.
Close. Even better. It's motherfucking Christmas special time.
Oh.
Da, 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 da. All right. Yeah, folks, welcome to the Christmas special. I am here with my editor, Zach Elmblad. And we also have a very special guest today. My guest is zooming. Yeah, zooms for us straight from the fair city of Saltash, Cornwall, based in jolly old England. He is a comedian, musician, podcaster, and writer whose credits include being the co-founder of Punk Comedy, the singer at the Sexy Offenders, host of the Red Sun podcast, which I had the pleasure of being on a few months ago. And most recently, he is the author of Your Memories May Contain Sponsored Content. And alongside my editor, Zach, I can't think of anyone else I would rather end this season of hashtag Powerful GSP with. Ladies and gentlemen, T. Latimer.
Hey.
Hey, dude. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
Red Sun podcast is dead now. Still got the interview up. I'm doing like a different podcast at some point soon because it's kind of like real.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Partially like I don't know enough about comics to do a comic book podcast. and I kind of wanted to do like about other stuff. So I'm gonna start a new one in the new year, but that's it. It's dead. It's dead. It's no longer.
Okay, well, rest in peace, son.
And
Rip.
the band's dead as well. A lot of our things are dead. You're just telling me of old times. The book's new though. The book's a good thing.
You know, you know who passed away earlier this morning?
Who's that?
Anna Rice.
Oh, what the vampire?
Yeah, interview with a vampire, Queen of the Damned.
Wow, did she write that in 2 weeks?
Oh, did she?
Yeah, I heard it was like for a writing competition or something. Just like wrote it in like 2 weeks. I don't know how true that is. I
Well,
got told that though, which would be
well,
crazy.
it's been some time since I read up on her, but if I remember right, I think it was a short story originally. Then when her daughter passed away, she decided to span it out into an entire novel, and the rest is history. But yeah, she passed away this morning. That stinks.
How old is she? Or was she?
I think she was in her 80s.
Oh, that's fair. That's a fair age, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so, but still.
Yeah, it's sad, but you know, it's like.
I mean, your podcast is dead, and Rice is dead. What's still alive these days, Tom?
Coronavirus, that's still going. So it's got a new album out.
Yeah. They're getting to the fun parts of the Greek alphabet. Like I heard Omicron. I was like, wow, we're at Omicron already. It's great.
Yeah, when I first heard that, I was like, oh wow, they're naming the variants after RoboCop villains now.
Right. We need Gamma. What's another one? What's like a late one? Theta. The Theta variant.
Yeah, jeez. Huh.
Kappa.
We can get to all that, but yeah, dude. How you doing? It's been a little bit since we podcasted, and we have talked a little bit. Now, what have you been up to lately?
I've writ my book. Well, I writ like the first installment for it. It's like a serialized thing. And I've been doing like a Monster of the Week campaign, like on YouTube. It's pretty good. Enjoy doing that. And I'm doing like, I don't know, I'm a very conflicting person. Like I'm like an anarchist, but also I'm doing like Pokemon shit on YouTube. So it's complex. I'm a complex human being. So I'm doing like a Pokemon competition. It's really shit, and you talk about like, oh, this is the cool shit I'm doing. I'm just playing Pokemon. And
Oh come on, dude. I'm the same way, but you know, I'm very serious socialist. You know, sharing all these articles, sharing all these memes. But then the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 drops, and you know, I just geek the fuck out. They got Knuckles. They got fucking Knuckles in this one, and
he's playing Knuckles.
He's voiced by I am gonna fuck up this name, Idris Elba.
Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Oh, Idris Elba's like he's from The Wire, isn't he?
Yeah, he's he's voicing Knuckles.
Oh, he seems a bit beneath him, doesn't it? Such a good actor. I guess he's just the guy in.
The writing, it's amazing.
Yeah, I know.
This little fucking thing that gets rings. It just runs around the trees. He's like, fuck yeah.
No, sir. That is Sonic the Hedgehog. Knuckles is the red thing that sits in front of a giant green emerald and he guards it.
Oh, he just is the guard. He's not after the rings.
No, he isn't. And
he's like in like the 4 films as the guard of the what's it called? The road, the 4 road. You know what I'm about in the 4 films where he's in that. He guards like the big road to Earth.
Idris Elba.
Oh,
yeah.
Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know much about him.
He just like seems to be playing guards now. That's his typecast.
Well, I heard he was potentially going to be the next James Bond, but I guess he chose Knuckles the Echidna over James Bond.
So I'd pick Knuckles. To be fair, I don't know why they still make James Bond films. Awful.
Speaking of trailers, A little comic book talk. Have you seen the trailer for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse?
Oh no, but I like I like the first one. Is it good? Are you excited?
Oh, dude, the trailer is also very awesome. It shows Miles Morales fighting with Spider-Man 2099, which is the future Spider-Man.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It is cool. It's coming out next year too, so very excited.
I'm like really. Are you hyped about the new Spider-Man film? Because I'm like really angry about it, and everyone's
Oh,
like,
No Way Home.
yeah.
Wait, what are you angry about? I'm very
Everyone,
happy about it.
yeah. That's what annoys me is everyone's just hyped about, it. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. You're wrong to be hyped because like they're adding like the other, they're adding the two other Spider-Man in it, like the old ones.
Oh yeah, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Yeah. So firstly, I think you don't want them to be canon in the Marvel universe. I want it to be its own thing. I like Tom Holland. I think he's a better Spider-Man than them.
Oh,
And then they've got like, do you remember Spider-Man 3 where like Sam Raimi was like, I just want to do like Sandman and shit, and then they were like, nah, you got to do whatever it was. The extra. I can't remember. Really bad memory. But they had like he added too many villains into it. It became like a mess, and that's what they're doing with
well,
this.
at least, yeah, I could see what you mean, but at least this one has a reason. Like he fucks up the multiverse, and all these different villains are coming in.
Yeah,
Not just like with Spider-Man 3, where it's like, oh, let's throw in this one and that one.
yeah. We've got the multiverse film though. We've got like Spider Verse. Just keep that. Do you know what I wanted? Like, just get Kingpin. Have Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin.
It may
Do
still
that.
happen. I mean,
That's just should have been a
have,
Spider-Man film.
they're gonna have Daredevil from the Netflix series. He's gonna be in this film. I guess he's Peter Parker's lawyer.
Yeah. See, I was hyped about that. Like, but that's too much. It's too many things. I think.
Mm, I don't know. I'm trying to be optimistic here. Me, Garret Schuelke, just Mr. Optimism, Mr. Everything's good, everything's happy.
That's exactly how I know you to be.
God, I am
perfect description of your character and outlook.
You know what? I can't lie, you guys. I am so fucking sad right now.
It's December in Michigan.
Oh yeah, it's very depressing here actually, because it's very cold. It's very dry. It's kind of a wasteland actually. How about where you're at? How's winter in Cornwall?
Cool. Wet. Normally just wet. Lots of rain and wind, which is not a combination. I remember once one winter I got like a cigarette out of my pocket and like I went to go light it and the rain just got so wet it just evaporated.
Huh,
Been
dude,
there.
Literally like walking through water sometimes.
do you get more snow or rain during the winter?
Rain. We get like up the country there's like snow, but it's just wet because it's next to the sea. It's just salt in it. Just didn't get any good shit. Just wet.
Okay.
Do you get snow?
Oh yes, we do, but a lot. But due to climate change, which, as we all know, is just completely fake, made up by libtards. But no, due to climate change, it's been really on and off during the years. Like some years we'll just get piled on, just polar vortex, smack, or others like right now, it actually rained like 2 days ago, just wiped out all the snow. But it's very cold still.
Yeah, it hovers around freezing. Kind of mid-January, early February, it'll go pretty far below freezing. The wind chill will be really bad. We live really close to the Great Lakes, so instead of what you were describing with the climate being sort of the salt from the sea air sort of depresses the precipitation into rain, it lowers the freezing temperature, so it doesn't ever become snow. But with the Great Lakes, all of the water evaporates, and then there's these bands of like horizontal stretches across the state where we get what's called lake effect snow, where like every once in a while randomly it'll just dump, up to your waist of snow. And like we have trucks and like entire like systems for dealing with it. Like on the highway, there'll just be like every 20 or 30 miles, there'll be like a big ass pile of salt that trucks just come and pick up, and they just distribute it all over the roads. And then that does the same thing as the sea air, making it like not melt as readily. But yeah, the snow just piles up around here. Sometimes it lasts for 6 weeks. Sometimes it lasts for like 4 months. So you never really know.
Do you ever got snowed in? Has that happened before?
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
What's
Oh,
that
yeah.
like? Do you have to prepare for it?
Yeah.
Is that a thing you need to consider in your life?
Well,
Yeah, you got to make sure your pipes don't freeze if you're not at home and you leave the house. Like you got to make sure you keep the furnace on to a certain level. You always want to make sure that you have food, because there'll be like grocery store runs, like in the same way that like COVID had like runs on certain products, or sometimes the entire store. Like if you find out there's going to be a huge ice storm or a really big snowstorm, everyone will go to the local grocery store and just buy everything. And so you'll go it like I used to work at a grocery store, and every morning after a storm, we have to like go take all the shit off the truck and just like put it, like the entire grocery store would be empty. Like every box of cereal and every like piece of broccoli and like head of lettuce and like bag of pasta, everything would just be gone. An empty building.
yeah.
Have you ever been snowed in somewhere that's not your house?
That it's really hard for that to happen these days, because they take care of it as the day goes by. So the trucks will be dispatched, they'll have it cleaned up and ready. So like all of the mobility is still there. But like back in the 90s, definitely, like when I was a kid or like really young teenager, there was definitely days where they just shut down school. Like no one would go to work. If you went outside, like the cops would just be out on the streets and they'd pull you over and be like, why don't you just go home? There's no reason to be out. Like it's so dangerous. Just don't do this. So it definitely, like society definitely shuts down in the really, really, really bad conditions. But where we are, it's not really like that anymore. As he was saying, whether it's climate change in aggregate or just kind of the general fluctuations of being in our particular microclimate, the last few years have been pretty light on the snow. But it still snows. It just doesn't stick and pile up. It's just gone the next day.
Yeah, I have been snowed in other places because my family lives up in northern Michigan at a place called Alpena. I can do this since I'm from Michigan. Our state's shaped like a hand, so we can do this. We're like down here.
You gotta put it up so it's on camera.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we're like right here. My parents' folks are like up here, pretty high up, very rural area. And I've been snowed in a couple times when I visit in the winter. I think like twice my mom just straight up begged me to call in the next day because the snowstorm was just so bad.
Yeah.
And in our times, like even this past Thanksgiving, after I came to visit, it was just raging snowstorm up in northern Michigan. Get down south though, perfectly clear.
Yeah.
So it also like depends on where you live in Michigan. Like I live in Grand Rapids, second biggest city in Michigan, right in the city. So so we get taken care of, roads are plowed, if electricity goes out, it's taken care of pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like the more rural areas around Grand Rapids, or you're up north where it's more rural there, you're kind of fucked for a little bit.
3 days, a week, maybe.
Yeah, nothing too bad. You can wait a week.
Well, I mean, that's what they tell you to prepare for. Make sure you have fresh water and canned food so that you can eat,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I've definitely had my furnace go out in the dead of January with like below freezing temps and like had to turn on the oven and like put fans to distribute heat throughout my house and stuff like that. Definitely.
How about where you're at? Ever had to deal with any winter storm stuff that just screws you over?
Well, I've like where I live, there's like a bridge that gets you out of the county. And that's basically I live in a little town next to Plymouth, so it's like it's literally like the bridge is right next to like where I live. So you just have to go through the bridge every day, and like that will just shut down with storms and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Over once, like the storms were so bad, the buses just weren't running back to the bridge, so I got a bus next to the like the little bit next to it because it was still going through there. I got off of it, just walked across the bridge. I just remember like because you couldn't drive through it, but you could walk through it, and I just was walking through it, and just this wind just blowing against me. I was like, I don't know whether this was a very good idea, but I just really wanted to go home.
Oh, dude, I have had that happen so many times where it's like, wow, this weather's really shitty, but I want to go get some PBR. Oh, I could just walk down to this store. It's less than 5 minutes away. Get out. God. Yeah, dude. Just curious. How far are you from London? Because
so about 3.5 hours. England's pretty small place. Like you can like drive anywhere. It's like a few hours away. I think like because I'm like right at the bottom of the country, and it's like 3.5 hours to London. I used to live in Oxford, which is like pretty close to it.
actually, Zach, reliable as always has brought up a map.
Yeah,
I can see why. Because I remember when I was visiting England, you and I were messaging back and forth because I was just taking pictures constantly. I think I did ask you once, like, God, where the fuck do I go? I got it on maps, but these roads just taking me around everywhere. What the fuck?
It doesn't make any sense. The way we lay stuff out just doesn't make any sense. And like the roads are like so narrow, like because you know how cars are getting bigger and bigger. Like in Cornwall, we have these tiny little roads, and like literally like for both ways, it's the size of one car, and they just like put these little idents in it so you can like pull over if another car's coming. And there's still a really fast speed limit, and you sort of drive. It's just so dangerous. Like, they're not going to fix it. It's just going to eventually cars going to get too big to ever go down there and just abandon those villages. I think.
Yeah. I went to New Orleans this past summer for my summer vacation. It was great, and I stayed in the French Quarter. You know, the oldest part of New Orleans, I believe. Dude, it reminded me exactly like Soho in London. You know, very old and very smelly and narrow roads. Like, holy shit. The only difference is that in New Orleans, if you piss someone off with your driving, they will let you know. They will even like throw shit at your car. Mostly beads. Beads.
Oh, beads. I gotcha.
You know,
I'm just thinking like the vegetable, like the root. Like I'm like, do they just carry around beets to throw at people? I misheard, and it was the best thing to mishear, because I was in a place yesterday where there was an actual wheelbarrow of sugar beets, and so I have a visual like a visual idea of what carrying around like a load of beets would actually look like, and it's
dude.
I digress.
I love my accent more and more every year because just love how I can fuck up simple words like that.
Yeah, this is my deaf ear too, so I can't hear.
Wait, you're deaf?
I'm not. No, I'm partially deaf at certain frequencies as a result of playing the drums for 25 years in this ear specifically.
Oh, so you're kind of like the Edge of YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, his ears are fucked up.
It's what happens when you're a musician. It just is a thing.
Wow, you reacted a lot better to that comparison than I thought you would.
I am the Edge.
It seems like a horrible thing. Like, just if you love music so much that you'll probably end up losing your ability to hear. It's like
It's sort of like a sacrificial organ, the ears in this case. Like how badly do you want to experience music as part of your life? Well, if you really want to be part of it and you don't wear hearing protection, because in 1998 no one was wearing earplugs. Like
hearing protection is gay.
Right, yeah, you get punched right in the face for doing something like that. You're like, well, you pay to come here and you don't want to listen? Slap.
Hey, you don't want to go deaf like the rest of us?
Exactly. I mean, that is certainly the mentality.
Come on.
Yeah.
What, you think you're better than us who have constant ringing in our ears?
Right. Man, all those old guys that used to go and like drink cheap beer and go to like metal shows and show up with like steel-toed boots on and literally just kick the shit out of whoever fell over. Like, these days if there's a circle pit or something and someone goes down, you're like, help that kid up, yeah. Right? No, dude, back in the day they just start kicking. Like, that's why you didn't want to go down, because they just start stopping you. They're like, all right, meet.
No, I don't mosh anymore because I'm too fat and too old. But
same.
But even in like my early mid-20s, I did get like metal mosh pits. No way. I was strictly punk mosh pits, especially pop punk, where like, you're jumping up and down, maybe you'll bump into each other, put your arm around and hey.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like a fun thing. Metalheads are just dicks. They are the worst.
There's some serious punching going on in metal pits, or at least circa 1998 for sure.
Worst metal fans I've ever encountered, Slayer fans.
Been there.
I like Slayer too, but their fans, God, fuck them.
Ministry was probably the worst for me. That was tough.
What's the story behind these fan interactions?
Okay, I'll go first. Me and my coworker, Chad, let's call him Chad, we went and saw Slayer at Van Andel Arena, the big arena in Grand Rapids. And first of all, I must say, Slayer, legendary thrash band, one of the big four. Dude, cheap ass tickets to see them.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Metallica, where it's like $2,000 a ticket.
Yeah. Yeah,
but we got really good seats for less than $8 or something. So we're just sitting there, and already I could see like tons of dudes with like fucking Nazi lightning bolt tats and shit.
Oh, God.
There's that. And people, of course, were like throwing shit off the higher parts. And two guys thought I did it to them because I was like standing up and like taking a picture with my phone. So they look up and they just start yelling. One of them was like a younger dude. And then another one was like old, bald, goat face looking motherfucker. Just yells, fuck you, you fucking F word. Come down here and do that to us, F word. A lot of that. And for some dumb reason, I was like, I didn't do it. I didn't throw anything. That continued till Chad grabbed me by the sleeve and like pulled me down. He's like, stop fucking arguing with them. You're not gonna win.
Fair assessment. There is no arguing with meatheads.
Yeah. Other than that, the rest of the show was great. Slayer was awesome. Anthrax was performing, but they like cut their thing short for some reason. God, I forget the other band. And actually at the very beginning, maybe it was Ministry.
Megadeth.
No, only if only it was Megadeth.
I saw Megadeth and Slayer at the same show once in Grand Rapids.
Nice.
With Anthrax. When was that? That was a while ago.
Yeah. Well, very quickly, okay, I don't know if I already but who was the metal band that did that cover of Dead Kennedy's Nazi Punks Fuck Off? Was it Ministry?
Death? Is it Napalm Death?
Yeah, Napalm Death. Yeah, that was who it was. Yeah, they performed first and they were awesome. And they finished their set with their cover of Nazi Punks Fuck Off.
I saw Napalm Death at Boomtown a couple of years ago, and like I was like really, 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 really fucked on Mandy, or Molly as you call it, and
very nice.
Why two different names.
Right, two chicks, but they both end up with M because of the MDMA. I love it. That's perfect.
I took way too much, like, because I was making the bombs and I just made these like hefty ass bombs, and like I got to Napalm Death, and like they just came on stage, and it was like the most loud abrasive thing I've ever heard in my life, and I would have loved it if I hadn't have been like eyes rolled in the back of my head, like,
Oh,
you know when you're so high on MDMA that you just can't do anything really. You just like you're so out of it. You're that sort of zombie
Yeah.
mode
I
of it.
did.
I
I
was
did Molly twice, but luckily that never happened to me.
oh, I took too
I
much.
I was just in love with everything. I did feel like too hot for a second.
That's what you want. That's the optimum effect. If you're not like greedy, you know, I just want all of it. I want all the good feelings, and I just try to have maximum amount of good feelings. And I try like Icarus, got
Dude,
too high to the
yeah.
sun and just crashed at
dude,
a Napalm Death concert. And like, so I was there, and like, I would just like basically like a tennis ball in like a game of like fucking I don't know tennis. just being banged around by all of these like because just a mosh pit like just started straight away, and I was just sort of near the front, but somehow I just got just like battered into it, and I was like unable to just do anything, and eventually I had to go find my tent, and I was sick and couldn't find the tent, and just was wandering around being sick for about hour and a half while my friends were watching Napalm Death. So yeah, like moral of the story, like kids, if you're gonna do drugs, don't be greedy. Just
No.
take enough.
I think metal would, unless it's like really melodic black metal or something. I couldn't do drugs like that at
No,
metal show.
that was a
No
terrible
way.
idea. It was a terrible idea. I wasn't. I was gonna just drink for it, and for some reason, just drugs came to me, and I was like, "Oh, so I'm on Doom Cell."
It
I'm
happens to
gonna
all
do the
of us.
drugs. I'll tell you,
Drugs come to me too, my friend. I understand how this works. It is a confusing process. You just wake up, you don't know what's going to happen to you, and then all of a sudden, there's just shit in your hand. And you're like, "Oh, should I eat? Yes, okay."
Well, as a famous musician and unfortunately sexual predator Marilyn Manson once say, I don't love the drugs, but the trucks love me.
oh, do you know what I found out was a nonce yesterday?
Oh wait, nonce. That's
A pedo in Britain.
oh yeah.
Do you want
Who?
me to ruin someone for you?
Sure, go for it.
Jimmy Urine from Minor Self Indulgence found out he was a nonce yesterday.
Oh no!
Yeah, I
I
know.
oh,
That's my. I really like Mindless Self-Indulgence, and I was like, oh no,
I've heard of that long ago, but
I didn't hear of it before, and I was
I
like,
didn't either.
I thought he was gonna get cancelled, but just for being a dickhead. Like I thought he was just gonna be obnoxious dickhead and get cancelled. I was like, oh, that's fine, but no, and it was really bad. It was like what I was reading. I was like, oh no, this is not okay. This is. I kept reading the article and it kept getting worse.
I just moved my records this weekend. I'm like, I had one bin that I'm like, okay, these are the ones I definitely want to listen to. I definitely threw some mindless self-indulgence in there, man. I'm like, oh, it's been a while. Like I haven't listened to this record in a bit. Toss that in the bin.
well,
my favorite thing's doing at the moment is just like, you know, like when people spoil TV shows for you. It's like I'm spoiling music. Just go, oh, you know that singer you love, nonce, mate. No, it's no good. You can't listen to that anymore. Can't enjoy that music. It's all about little girls.
You just gotta like casually remove all the stuff from your collection.
It's been no music soon because apparently only pedophiles make good music now. It's just
no, the only thing that'd be like appropriate to listen to is like, you know, like nature sounds you can buy from like your local drugstore. You know, those CDs for like $5.
Well, you know, Michael Jackson kind of survived this by dying at the exact right time, so that he was.
But everyone's saying it before he was dying, though, weren't they?
But it wasn't proved. In fact, it was like he was acquitted. So like, either there was behind the scenes payments, and I mean, all that is to be determined. Like, there's definitely been a lot of allegations, but nothing was ever proven in a court of law. And so So in the way the United States works, man, the court of public opinion, right? Like if you can say, well, it was never proven that he touched kids. It was never proven. Everyone's like, yeah, he gets a pass. So it's like you'll be in the grocery store and you just hear Michael Jackson tunes and you're like, wait, I thought that this was supposed to get taken off the playlist. Nah, man, he died too soon for cancel culture. He made it. He's on the Mount Rushmore of like pre-cancel culture people who should have been canceled.
I don't think that would have ever happened to him. I think he would have not got cancelled for as long as he lived because he had so much money and such good lawyers. I think that's the only reason he got. Like,
that and everybody knew his story that he was also abused as a child by like on publicly, like on television. You know what I'm saying? Like he was getting fucking slapped when he didn't sing the right notes and shit. So it's like, how are you going to expect this person to develop in a normal psychological way? You know, so everyone kind of gives him a pass, I think.
Well, you also have to remember he was that good. He's the king of pop. Actually,
from hitting, it comes from hitting.
No, like to compare it to a UK musician who got canceled. You remember Gary Glitter?
I remember Gary Glitter.
Yeah, he's currently in prison. Finally, see, there's a big difference. Imagine if he died before. He got caught with all that porn on his computer.
I don't know though. I think Michael Jackson was because he was just such a big name and everyone loved his music so much as well. I do think he wasn't like Gary Glitter was not the same level as Michael Jackson. I think that is why people give him a pass as well. Like Elvis Presley. Do you remember all the stuff with Elvis Presley? Like his wife did 15 or something. Like that doesn't get brought up very often. And I wonder, if it's just because people are like, oh no, you don't fuck with Elvis Presley. I listen to his music. I don't care. Is that like, is it because people were just held in such high regard that all of the negative things get forgotten about?
I think it's that, and the case with Elvis and those old dudes.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Oh,
he married like a 12-year-old.
No, he got
it was his cousin or something.
Yeah. No, he got in trouble. Funny enough, he got in trouble for that finally when he went to perform in England. He brought his cousin wife with him. They asked like, "Oh, who are you?" She says, "Oh, I'm Jerry's wife and I'm his cousin." Apparently, the English public did not take kindly to this. And that's how he got canceled for a little bit. But the thing too with like Elvis now is that, well, at least when they were doing it, is quote unquote more acceptable back then.
I just have to sidebar here because traditionally maybe it's just like a hierarchical separation, because isn't the monarchy pretty much all cousin fucking? Like all the way like 1,000 years back.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, double standards what it is.
Right, exactly. You guys, you rabble. You don't get to fuck your cousins.
I think we should cancel them. Cousin fuckers in this country. So we have no leg to stand on at all.
Things have changed, my friends. Things have changed. Are you pounding a Budweiser right now?
Yeah, it's fine. I would want Red Stripe, but they don't have it in stock at the moment.
Red Stripe, man. I haven't had a Red Stripe in a really long time. That's a beer I always forget about. You don't think about it.
It's all right.
What's your preferred beer, Garrett?
Oh boy. Well, now and forever, it'll probably always be PBR. You know, that's past Blue Ribbon. It's the famous shit beer in America.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I love shit beer.
Well, here's the thing about PBR. It's a so-called classic beer, meaning that it's been around forever. And there are worse beers out there, especially in 40-ounce form, like Steel Reserve or King Cobra. But PBR just has like the I'm trying to describe this great beer to you. No, it like rides the middle of an okay beer and like a little streak of, like the beer that will make you cringe when you first take a sip. And
Yeah, that's what I
so
want. I like that. I like that.
yeah,
We have a lot of good Polish beer that are like that in this country, and it's always good to have. Very
really.
strong, and it has that exact. It's okay. It's a bit,
Wait,
which
what's
is
it called?
exactly what you want, I think. Like
What's it?
Polish beer, there's a lot of Polish beer. Just from Poland, there are a lot of you get a lot of Polish beer over here, and it's got usually has
Okay,
that sort of.
okay, because on a previous episode last year, I had on Scottish writer and singer Louis Rive. We've had a similar conversation like this, and apparently there is a beer in England that's like PBR. It's like the hip. Also, another thing with PBR is that it's besides like a working class beer, it's also considered a hipster one. You know, it's what all the hip college kids like to drink because it's cheap and plentiful. But yeah, that's my
What was
forever.
his suggestion for you?
Oh, that's the thing. I can't remember the name of the beer, so I was kind of hoping that you, based on the description, you might know a name for it.
I don't know.
Damn.
I'd like to know. I'll have to go back and listen and find out. And
God damn it.
decide agree.
Right? Yeah, I was gonna say I was so
Well-
busy trying to share the screen, I didn't listen. So
Yeah.
what beer are you describing?
I don't know. I can't remember the name. I should tweet Louis later and be like, hey, what's that shitty beer you told me about? But anyway, PBR will always be my favorite. But there's one, I only have like one beer that I truly like the taste of. That is Blue Moon.
Blue Moon. Is that an Indian beer?
No, it's
An
made
Indian
here in
beer? Or is there
America.
an Indian beer with a similar name?
There
No,
could
I'm
be.
thinking of a different one. There's one with a similar name that you get in that you can only get in Indian
Wait.
takeaways.
oh, what?
Yeah, for some
India.
reason it's the only.
Wait, are you talking about Tiger?
No, it's there. Yeah, not Tiger, but there's another one, something moon that you can only get from Indian
Well-
takeaways. I can't remember what it's called.
Well, this is called Blue Moon. It's based in America, but like when I've been to Canada, they had to name it Belgian Moon due to like some copyright thing. But anyway, yeah, Blue Moon is the other beer I like. It's the only one I truly like the taste of. Everything else, like I'm used to it, or I just like choke it down.
So I just fine. Every beer's fine. I have no other than like Carlin and Carlsberg and Foster's. I can usually drink anything.
Oh,
Foster's
Foster's
is pretty bad.
Australian for beer.
It's the worst. It's the
That's-
worst beer. I've like sometimes you go to a pub over here and like the only beer they have, well, lager, is Foster's, and you're just like,
Yeah.
can't drink it.
That happens here. They get a deal on it. The distribution company gets like a huge pallet of it, and so they'll put it on sale for like $1 or $2. And we call the cans oil cans. It's like twice the size of a normal can.
they're big.
I don't know if
yeah,
it's the
all of
same
our cans are like
size.
that over here.
Oh, okay. No, yeah,
oh, yeah,
it's like
oh,
shorter and
no.
wider.
Yeah, we got those
Oh.
size cans. These are like, yeah, short,
Yeah,
fat, plump.
they have a unique can shape and size that is only used for Foster's, and it's fucking weird. It doesn't fit on a shelf right. Everything about that beer sucks. Like if you're a bar manager and someone sends you a fucking case of Foster's, you're like, how do I get this out of here as fast as I can?
Hey, $1
Do you
beer.
know- Do you know about like how like a lot of bars have ran in the UK with like how they're like sort of owned by breweries and stuff like that, and then they can.
Oh, they are.
No, I didn't know that.
So like in the UK, like lots of pubs are like brought by. I think they're brought by breweries, and they can only sell stuff made by those breweries.
Oh,
And
okay.
it kind of fucks
Oh.
them. They're allowed to
That's-
have one beer
that-
which is not from it, but you have so much called free houses that you're allowed to have any. It's like they own it themselves. sort of
That's
thing.
interesting.
But yeah, it's like
Because
Yeah, so-
when I was in London, well, of course, I drank Guinness because I wanted to try it from straight from the source, as they say, not the shitty Guinness here in America.
Different island, I think, but
Yeah,
close
different.
enough.
Close enough, yeah. So I drank Guinness, and I can't remember the name, of course, because it's been 2 years, but some local craft beer that was like really good. Then, much to my amazement, American beer, like what you're drinking.
Yeah.
Like they're all over and everyone's drinking that. I'm like, why
Yeah,
are you
I was-
drinking this shit? This is American
I was-
garbage.
I noticed like a couple of years ago that American hipsters started drinking British ales and English hipsters started drinking America like little cans
Oh,
of American beer. There's a weird switch.
God damn it.
We just keep bouncing the ideas back and forth. So who like whatever's popular over there is like what the douchebags over here like, and then whatever's
I was
popular over here is
watching-
douchebags. They're
Watching
like,
soccer and drinking ale.
Yeah, well, yeah, when I was over there, it was that and seeing some dipshits wearing Yankee hats and MAGA hats. I would shake my head. I'm like, God, I flew fucking over 10 hours across the ocean to get away from this shit. God damn it.
What do you
Okay.
think of like the what? So did you just go to London? Did you visit anywhere else? Was it just London?
Yeah, I spent one day. I went down to Brighton, beach town.
Oh, Brighton's amazing.
Yeah,
love Brighton. I went there.
yeah, dude, I loved it because so far London has been my only overseas trip, only place in Europe so far. So of course, growing up, I had like a lot of preconceptions, for movies, music, you name it. And one thing I always wanted to check out was a beach town in Europe, And yeah, I went to Brighton. It kind of lived up to everything that I imagined. It was great. I loved it.
It's like an old, like, lot of sort of like Victorian-y sort of that's got that sort of old style you want there. But yeah, it's a really cool place. Like, they got some really cool punk gigs over there, really cool punk scene, great food over there as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I honestly didn't get that feel while I was there.
It's like the LGBT capital of Britain as well, which is pretty cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah, well, I went there. I mainly went there to went swimming too, because fun fact about me, never swam in the ocean before then.
Is it because you're landlocked? Are you landlocked?
No, we're surrounded by the Great Lakes, which is fresh water. But yeah,
But
never.
I mean, like, ocean, isn't it? Like, so
there's no ocean by us. No, yeah. Like if you look at the map of the United States, and there's like that big section right in the middle of it that's got a bunch of water. That's where we are. So it's like a little peninsula that sticks out into a huge freshwater inland sea that does connect to the Atlantic Ocean, but it's like 700 or 800 miles away, where like through Canada and like by New York, where it actually comes out.
Yeah, and it also shows like my lack of experience or how much of a hick I am, because like, gee golly, I never swam in the ocean. So this was my first time swimming the ocean, the English Channel. And of course, I went to the nude part of the beach because I have a little thing for nudism now. I wish I could do it more, but unfortunately, it's not really legal here in the US. And I'm not willing to like take a chance to get arrested to do it. So went there, swam, had a good time. And I do have one story out. I was swimming there, all good. And some guy then starts yelling at me, hey, waving his hand. I'm like, oh, God damn it. Because I thought I was in trouble that I did something. So I walk up, all in the buff. Yes, is there a problem, sir? And he said, oh, no problem. I just wanted to warn you that there's a school of jellyfish over there by the pier. I'm sure you'll be fine, but I just wanted to warn you. I'm like, oh, okay. I go back in the water.
Were you naked at this point?
Yes, I was. It was a nude beach. So then I get back in the water. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm in the ocean where there's literal monsters, and I'm naked. Then I went back to swimming. I was fine.
The ocean's scary, man.
Yeah, God. That reminds me of a Jim Norton bit from Obie and Anthony. He has one called Fuck the Ocean. That was one of the reasons. Because he's like, God, the ocean sucks. It's full of shit. You can't drink it. It sometimes hurts if you get in due to all your cuts. We should just fill up the ocean with cement.
What did you think of English people when you came over? How did you? How were we? Were we kind? Were we rude?
No, it was fine, dude. It was fine, dude. No, I didn't have any problems at all. Like, no one bothered me. You know, there wasn't like really any awkward interactions. Okay, wait, there was one. I bought some water at some place, and he's like, "Okay, that'll be 2 and a tenner." I'm like, "Wait, what's a tenner?" "Oh, 10 cents." I'm like, "Oh, okay." It's like, "Oh, where are you from?" "United States." "Oh, that's great." There's that. And twice, I'm sure you noticed throughout interactions, I have this wonderful little accent. Yeah, here in America, people think that I have I'm special needs or something like that due to my accent. No, in England, they think I'm from Norway.
Huh.
I had that happen twice. They're like, "Oh, where are you from?"
Yeah, you don't have the most American accent I've ever heard.
Really?
Where's your accent from? I don't. No, not massively.
Oh,
Like
from
if I
Michigan.
was if I was to do like like an impression from an American, I would do an impression of you. Oh.
Oh,
Is
I
that the
give you.
Michigan accent? Is that what you've? Is that what your accent is? Is it
Oh
Michigan
wow,
accent?
I'll try to explain this very quickly because I've rehashed it so many times. Yes, this is a Michigan accent because I looked it up. It's called Northern Inland accent. But another reason why I speak like this and why I mispronounce some words is because when I was a small child, aka a baby, I had a shit ton of ear infections. And that fucked it up for me when I was learning how to like
Oh
say
God.
words because I wasn't hearing them properly. So it'd be like, "Okay, Gary, say tree." I'll say three. "Okay, Gary, say three. Tree." It'd be like that. So I had to go through speech therapy for like 4 or 5 years of when I was in school. And I got better, obviously, but it still persists to this day.
Yeah, I don't find your accent to be like that you speak wrong. It's just it sounds like you don't have a very strong American accent. It's sort of like everything you say is very clear and it sounds
Uh,
direct as well. Not like when
oh, wow. That's very heartwarming. Thank you. It's a lot better than what I get these days most of the time if I encounter someone. It's like, I'll say something to them. Then they'll say, "Do you have Down syndrome?"
Wow. I just think that you mean that people in New Orleans throw beats at your car.
If only. No, I flew down there too. No way I'm fucking driving down there.
I'd eat the beats as long as they weren't rotting.
Oh,
If they
dude.
threw them at me.
Dude, no. Ugh.
do they
I love
just have?
beads.
Was it what they have the whole bead thing in there? Is it just do they just have beads to throw at people and get them
Beats.
like
No, it's
yeah
a thing in New Orleans because it's a party town, festival town. It's famous for
yeah
Mardi Gras, which I'm going to
yeah
next year, by the way. But no, the whole thing about beads, besides it being a festive thing, is that if you go on like a roof or a patio or something, and you throw it down to women, they will show you their tits.
oh
Specifically on this like one part of the city during a specific time.
Actually, no, it's not
Is
just
it really?
Mardi Gras.
Is it all the time?
Yeah, this summer when I went there, people were doing it.
Sweet.
I went up there and did it a couple times, just like
but it,
see someone,
but
see a chick I like, be like, "Hey, what's up?" Then I'll throw it down, and they'll flash their tits at me.
But I don't understand why they angrily threw it at you though. I don't know what's going on. That's what I try and understand.
But
Maybe they
If they
wanted
do
to
it,
see your tits.
no, but no. None of this happened to me. I'm just
oh
talking about when I was in the French Quarter. Like I said, it's like Soho in London. It's very old and the roads are narrow. So of course you'll get people driving through there and they'll fuck up in some way. and that will piss people off so much to the fact that they'll like either yell at you or even throw shit at your car. You know, say like, "Don't fucking drive down this way," then just throw some shit at your car window. No, this did not happen to me. I saw it happen when I was just walking around, you know, being a tourist. We are really rambling on here because this is a Christmas episode. Remember?
Yeah, I thought that's what we did on Christmas episodes.
Yeah, God, we do it on all episodes. Zach and I, but no, we have a guest here, so we need to be somewhat professional. This is a Christmas episode, so let's talk about Christmas a little bit. Tom, how's Christmas been for you? Like, do you or your family have any holiday traditions, or is there anything from where you're at that's specific?
So on Christmas Eve, you usually go to the pub, and then on Christmas morning, I'll be going over that in the morning, not open presents, give them their presents, and then we'll go to the pub again, and then have dinner. Is that what you do? Do you go drinking Christmas Day, Christmas Eve? Is it a drinky time?
Bars aren't open.
Yeah. Really? It's
Yeah,
like a thing in
Oh.
England where bars will be open like, usually it's not all day, but about like 11, 12, they're open for a couple of hours on Christmas Day, and people go in there and like have like a Christmas drink.
Very nice.
That's cool. I like
good.
the
It's quite nice.
sound of that. No, that's not a thing over here, like, especially in the Midwest. Probably on the East Coast, that sounds like it would be a thing. Like, just it sounds like an East Coast thing. But no, around here the bars aren't open on religious holidays. And that has a lot to do with like the the opposite of Catholic Christianity, Protestant Christianity being like
it's our faults. Well, that is
so pervasive. It could partially. It's more the Scandinavian one. The Scandinavian ones is what really did it over here. It wasn't the Church of England. It was the Calvinist religions from like Denmark. Or Finland, like all those folks in Germany. Is all the immigrants that populated the pioneer times, like 1830s of Michigan, is like lumberjacks and fur trappers and people who made river
Jesus freaks. Lots of them.
Well, that kind of was the same thing at that time.
Yeah.
Like those kingdoms had been converted entirely to Protestant Christianity by that time. So like anyone coming to colonize in the United States or colonize or immigrate would have been
colonize is the right word.
Well, they would have been doing so at so they could practice that religion and not be in their country. Like that was a big thing. So however that translates to not being able to drink on Christmas, I'm not sure, but everybody just drinks in their own homes. So like, everybody gets completely wasted, but it's kind of like you'll have like, there's certain holiday drinks that everybody has. Like you always go to the store and get like pasteurized eggnog and mix it with like Fireball or something, but it's just this nasty sugary drink. It's not actually eggnog as anyone else in the world would understand it. It's like this yellow milk. It's disgusting shit, dude.
Okay, how about you, Zach? Is there anything with you or your family for Christmas that's like a tradition?
My brothers and I have invented all sorts of fun, ridiculous traditions. Like we always play Magic the Gathering on Christmas Eve. We always exchange gifts between the brothers on Christmas Eve because it's usually video games, and then we'll play the video games that night in my like parents' basement. And then we always watch the Onion movie because
the Onion movie,
because I think it's hilarious.
What's the Onion?
The Onion News Network, like the satirical. They made a movie. They made a movie. It's fucking hilarious. You should watch it.
Okay, I've never heard of it.
It's great. All right,
I'll
so
watch it Christmas Eve.
you should. It's hilarious, man. I believe it came out in 2008 or maybe 2010. So the humor is kind of dated.
2000s humor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It dates so
excellent.
quickly, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, it's mostly racial humor, so like it's done and it's tasteful though. Like at one point, there's a claim made that Puerto Ricans can spend the longest amount of time gripping iron girders or like hanging from iron girders. At one point, like Peruvians are revealed to have laser beam eyes. Like Steven Seagal is in it as an action hero. Dude, you need to watch this movie. It's excellent. It's excellent. So, but other than that, like Christmas morning, we like go sit up in the family room, and like my mom's sister comes over usually, and we have like this casserole shit that my dad makes, and we have a bunch of Christmas traditions, man. None of them really make any sense. Like we watch the movie A Christmas Story on repeat for 24 hours.
Oh god.
And like my parents have like a little decoration area on top of the upright piano in their like parlor, where it's like a bunch of little miniatures of the buildings from that movie, and they're all like lit up in this like, it's kind of like a miniature train set almost, like where it's like a Christmas village, but it's all from the movie, like the movie theater.
I visited the Christmas Story house.
Yeah, it's not far away.
Yeah, I visited it, and yeah, it's there. It's just like in the movie, and it's based in this neighborhood in Cleveland that's really super tightly packed together.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm sure it was different back when they made the movie. And you can stay there too, but it's like $500 a night or something. $500 a night to like sleep in these shitty beds that the actors did back then.
Are you familiar with this movie, T? Do you know what we're talking about?
No, I need to watch it. I feel I don't need to watch it. It's probably no good, but I kind of want to watch it.
No, it's
so
great.
I feel like I'm part of the gang. That's what I want to do. I feel I've been really left out, not knowing about.
It's kind of a campy movie that was produced in the 90s, and it's supposed to be like a nostalgia thing for people who were children in the 1950s, so like the baby boomer generation.
Is it Happy Days?
Kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's that same kind of thing where it's like a pastiche of what life would have actually been like back then. And so like there's a bunch of the Daniel Stern narrates it, who's like, he narrated a bunch of like family television shows in the 1990s, and then like all of the actors and stuff in it are sort of like the adult audiences would recognize them as people who were part of other comedy films. And it's just like the kid gets his mouth washed out with soap for saying fuck, and like it's like sort of Depression era, so they're struggling to have food, and then the dog eats the fucking Christmas turkey, and then like the kid wants a BB gun for Christmas, and he doesn't think he's going to get it. And then the dad gives it to him, and he goes out and like shoots a steel sign, and the BB like ricochets back and breaks his glasses. But like throughout the whole movie, everyone's telling him he can't get the BB gun because he'll shoot your eye out. And then so like the narrator's like, I did it. I shot my eye out. And so it's hilarious. It's definitely like a family movie. It's not like high art or anything like that, but it's fucking
That's
funny.
Christmas though, isn't it?
Well, the thing too here in America is that a particular station, TBS now, used to be TNT, they would play this film on Christmas for 24 hours straight, starting at midnight and ending at midnight the next day. That's what kind of makes it special. And they came out with A Christmas Story too, where like the kid grows up, but
that's dumb shit. I don't even want to know that exists.
Well, it wasn't as much fun, and I think the reason why it wasn't as considered a classic like the first is because in the second one, the kid turns into like he grew up into like a Ted Bundy-ish serial killer.
No way, really?
I'm fucking kidding, Zach.
Okay.
Don't give me
Oh.
I'm like, what?
don't give me
I'm
that
so
fuck-
confused.
don't give me that fucking look.
I'm honestly confused, man.
God damn, dude. We've been like hanging out for like half a decade now. How can you not tell I'm being sarcastic at times?
I don't know, man.
No, there is a second one where like the kid grows up, he has his own family, his own Christmas things. It's not as popular.
Okay, so you weren't being
Yeah.
facetious. This does exist, but what
Yeah,
you
it's
were
a-
being facetious about is that he grows up to be a serial killer.
Yes, Zachary
So-
Helmblatt. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, that is why I struggle to find out when you are not being facetious, because you literally just faded mid-sentence from being facetious or from not being facetious to being facetious. And I already didn't know that there was a second movie. So I'm fucking confused from the get here, my friend.
You know what? No one will ever truly understand me. That's the real problem.
Communication is hard.
Forever alone.
Words are wind.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. But okay, for Christmas for me, it's kind of divided into like two eras. When I was growing up until like nearly the mid 2010s, it's mostly I would visit with my family at like both of my grandparents' places. You know, like my mom's side of the family would meet at my grandparents there. My dad's family would meet with their parents. Yeah, that's kind of what we do. Go between grandparents and, you know, hang out, eat dinner, drink, talk, smoke, all that great stuff. But then it changed in like the mid 2010s because my grandfather passed away, and both of my grandmas, well, due to age and all that stuff, they've kind of withdrawn. So we just don't have those big gatherings anymore. So it's always up in the air what we're doing. But we still do some things like drink a lot. There's that. And I don't know if we'll do it this year because I got to check Netflix. But these past few years, my mom and I, and sometimes my brother would marathon the series Riverdale. Have either of you heard about
No, not familiar.
Which series?
that? Riverdale. You ever heard of it?
Is that the Archie one? Or was that
Yes, it's the Archie one.
I've not watched it. I watched the Sabrina one, and they didn't have a talking puppet in it. Like Salem in it.
Yeah, the new
Too
Sabrina
edgy.
series is serious. Yeah, it's edgy. Same with
It's too
River.
edgy. It's unnecessary edgy. It's just like you watch it and you're like, oh, you know, you can't want it to be a bit campy. It needs to be a little bit campy, and it's not. It's oh, it worship Satan. It's like, oh, it's just.
Well, I'm
Nah,
sorry to
it's too
say, my
much.
friend, Riverdale is kind of the same. It's uber serious. It's kind of edgy at times. The main character, Archie Andrews, he's not a superhero, but he is easily one of the most overpowered characters in fiction. Like, he beats the shit out of everyone, from local gangbangers to assassins. I like the series. Every Christmas since they put like the new one out by Netflix on by then. So we just marathon it and just critique it the whole time. Like, holy shit, this is awful acting, or wow, I can't believe they put that into this. Or my personal favorite, because my mom grew up with Archie comics. She wasn't like a big comic nerd like we are, but she still read it. So we would watch some of the stuff, like they'll show like Veronica and Archie having sex, and it's like, hey, remember this from the comic? So yeah, that's Christmas around where I'm at.
You get much time off for Christmas? Well, because you get less holidays than us in the US, don't you? Do you? I thought because we get like 6 weeks, and I heard you get like.
I don't think I've taken 6 whole days off this year.
That's a good one, Tom. You kidder, you.
Yeah, we get fucked, man. I work like 20 hours a day owning my own business. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. He has like a legit job where he like shows up to a building and works there.
It sucks.
So,
Don't do it.
So he does have paid vacation, but I don't know how many weeks. It's usually not 6 weeks. You'd probably have to work somewhere for 20 years to get that.
Well,
Yeah.
no, it's been discussed many a time, but yeah, here in America, our work culture is a lot more individualist, which means they work you to the bone and they don't give you benefits or vacation time.
Yeah.
Whereas, I don't know, like, what's it like where you're at? Like, do you guys get like considered fair vacation time or anything like that?
Oh, they're fucking us now. They found
Oh,
ways
they
to
are.
fuck us. Yeah. So like, well, it's changing again. So the last few years, people stopped getting like for your basic jobs, people stopped sort of getting like your sort of 36.5 hour contracts. They'd be getting 0 hour contracts. And what that'd be is if they need you, they call you in. But you'd usually get your amount of hours that you'd get, but because you're not actually working those hours, they can not give you any holiday and just sort of pay you the holiday you own, sort of not bring you in when you need to be, and you can't get a mortgage because you haven't got any hours. And all jobs became like that. But weirdly enough, like I don't know, it's been a lot of bad things with Brexit, but one of the good things with Brexit is that like because there's now a shortage of workers, like they're having to actually pay people like a decent wage because there's people kind of can just pick and choose jobs now, which is like the only like good thing to come of it. Like they're stripping us of all our other rights.
Oh.
It's pretty
We didn't
bad.
even have any to be taken away from us. Yeah.
Oh, capitalism. It's wonderful, isn't it?
Uh,
Yeah. My situation is unique because I don't have a job. I have clients and I work. So it's
sure you got a job, Zach. You're my editor.
right. That's one of many jobs that I have.
No, that's the only job you need.
No, I mean, when you own your own business here in the US, it's certainly like celebrated as a triumph of the spirit of individualism.
You're an entrepreneur.
Right. There's a French word for it. Yeah. So but in reality though, there's no real access for you to provide employees with benefits without like severely limiting your ability to run your business because everything's so expensive. Like you as an employer have to sort of compensate for the healthcare costs of your employee. So since obviously you guys have national healthcare, like that's not a factor of your employment. But
for not very long, I can imagine they're scrapping that at the moment.
Okay, that's
slowly going.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody likes their country's healthcare system, I would imagine. And ours can be good. It certainly provides a lot of jobs. I would say in our city, in the city that we're in right now, healthcare is the largest employer by far, and probably the only close second being the local university. And most of the local university is in conjunction with the local hospital. So it's all kind of a medical college anyway. And there's so much money being thrown around in that system that sort of dismantling it would be really, really problematic for the economy at large. But that's another conversation, of course. But as a employer, like all of my work, if I get hired by a business to create a video or to go fly my drone somewhere or to like do graphic design for them, they pay me as a what's referred to as a 1099 NEC, non-employee compensation. So it's effectively the same thing as a 0 hour contract. Like you're going to get paid for the work that you complete, but you're not an employee. So you're not going to get your taxes withheld. So you're going to be responsible for your financial burden to pay your taxes. You have to do all the paperwork. So you have to tell them how much you owe them, and you have to prove that to them. And so all that type of stuff makes it really difficult for me to get myself health insurance, because as a employer and an employee of my own company that I own, not only would I need to pay for my company's right to provide my employees with health care, but then I would need to pay again for myself and a couple of like, so you kind of have to restructure everything to like make your business a corporation, which is then a separate tax identity from you, so that it's no longer associated. So the problem is that I set my business up incorrectly, because when I set it up, I didn't know I was going to be doing what I'm doing now. And I need to change it so that I can get health insurance like next year. But we have like sort of subsidized national health care in the form of Medicaid that like I can go to a doctor.
We also have Obamacare, as I like to call it. But that's just been so fucked over from what it originally was that, you know, it's not even worth really getting on. I'm no longer on it. I'm on my employer's insurance because it took a couple of years, but yeah, my employer's insurance is cheaper than what the government was giving me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all reflective of your tax status. So your ability to afford health insurance is scaled to your income, but also a factor of your non-monetary compensation package. So like they're going to keep your wages lower, but like as an incentive for promotion or for additional responsibilities in the work site, they'll give you the benefits package, which is like a copay on an investment plan, and then healthcare, which is usually pretty limited. You don't get optical care. You don't get prescription coverage.
Dentists.
Dental care. Yeah. All that is sort of separate.
Basically, if I could sum it up, everything in America is going to cost you something.
Yeah.
It's not like, say, in Canada or the UK, where it's like, oh, hey, I just walk in for this because I pay taxes and it's all good. You can't do that in America.
What do your taxes paid for? Because that's people always moan about, like, say about the NHS.
Well, I heard about a country called Afghanistan, right?
Oh, I love
heard about that military, or that's where all of our tax money goes.
Actually, there is three things. It's the military, like we just mentioned, law enforcement, because I'm sure you saw last year how well that money went to.
Yeah.
And then, of course, just corporations in general, because, you know, we got to give them money to help them survive the current recession.
Yeah, they'll subsidize the banking businesses and the healthcare businesses that are like hot topics, right? Like, or they've done the automobile industries.
Yeah, back then they said that, as they like to say back then, the 2008 recession. The Great Recession, too big to fail.
Yeah, that's definitely the way they phrase it. So it's sort of like the rule set for determining who's going to receive tax benefits is sort of ad hoc to the situation. Like all of that, we got paid, like every United States citizen got paid like $1,200. Every taxpayer, I should specify, not citizen. Every tax-paying citizen got paid $1,200 during COVID. And like that is like, because we operate our budget on like a $34 trillion deficit. So the money's not fucking real anyway. So if you ask the question, what does our tax money get spent on? It's debt servicing to your country. Like, because we're like, and China. But like,
oh God, here we go.
but that's the reality of it, because our national debt is like hundreds of times our GDP, I think. Like it's like there, no matter how much we work or how much like economic value the United States produces, it still doesn't make the balance sheet positive ever. So our tax money effectively doesn't go to anything. It goes to the interest payments on debt that's continually being folded into new debt. And they do that in Congress every October, and it'll be on the news. They're like, oh, the Congress might default on the budget, and then they like stall for a couple weeks and bitch about shit and argue, and then they'll just do it anyway. And it'll be for like way more money than we'll ever make in 1 year. So yeah, it's pretty absurd. Like, United States economic policy is as comedic as it appears from the outside looking in. Totally. Yeah.
America.
Yeah, it's bizarre here, man. I mean, it's bizarre everywhere. Like, if you think about it, just people interacting with each other and making decisions. Like, I'm not gonna need the same things in my life that Garrett's gonna need. And so if we're gonna make a government that benefits the both of us and screws over the both of us, like the only realistic equilibrium we could ever find that has equanimity is he gets fucked 50% of the time, I get fucked 50% of the time. He's right 50% of the time, I'm right 50.
Actually, you and I have already come up with the good form of government, or society as a whole, which is basically we just run into the woods and live like the Unabomber.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, Ted Kaczynski.
Friend of the show, Ted Kaczynski. Oh, you're gonna get yourself banned from Spotify.
No, not. Oh God.
Next episode, next season, banned from Spotify.
Oh God, we came up with that fantasy last episode. We're like, it's gonna be a dystopian future. Elmblad Media Group is gonna be like this huge fucking corporation, straight out RoboCop or something. It turns out that you're rich because you stole my copyrights.
Yeah, I want to be like the guys that go watch Squid Game.
Yeah, Squid Game, like that.
Like when they're in the like viewing room.
Yeah,
that's the decadence level I want to experience.
Yeah, but then I'll keep getting back at you, because by then I will be like Unabomber 2. And I keep sending you packages. You're like, oh, Garret Schuelke sent me a package. My old friend. I wonder what he sent me. Open it, boom. But you keep living against cybernetic parts.
Right, exactly. Well, turns out we could replace his fingertips and eyelids.
It's like, God damn it, I gotta make a bigger bomb. Until I finally win, because I just make a mini nuke.
You know, like how like every like massive like government or whatever in all of the history has gotten to the point where there's so much division between the top and the bottom, it just fucks.
Yeah,
I think we're at that kind of right now.
Are we? Yeah, that's what I'm like. Are we getting to that point where it just goes?
Probably. It's going to fold in on itself eventually. I mean, that's what a lot of people like. There's that Netflix show House of Cards, which is a copy of your show House of Cards, but they refer to the political institution in the United States as a house of cards frequently, also as like the great experiment, right? And so like our government is only like whatever 200 years old, and it's experiencing these like instead of having a colonial reach like where the British Empire had India and Australia and Canada and all of those other protectorates and all of those things, the holdings. The United States doesn't really have colonies. It has like economic like servility. So like,
well, I would say we have a puppet government. So
yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, like South Korea's one,
but they're economically servile to us. Whereas we don't claim to own them. We don't.
Yeah,
like we trade with them.
It's like, oh, we're partners. Wink.
Exactly
wink.
Right. Exactly right. Like, so we'll support the government and give all of the money that like we'll give money to a political candidate that we want to win, and then give them the best odds of winning, and then they win, and then they in turn then reciprocate with treaties that benefit the United States. And so that's how colonialism and like the United States empire work, is it's all based on money and debt rather than, and that money and debt is of course backed up by the fucking tanks everywhere, of course. Right. But like that military hardware is what's underwriting the economic force, right? Like our debt structure is built up on like continually purchasing military hardware, and then that credit is used to underwrite the credit that we lend to other nations for either aid. It's not usually aid though, it's like to purchase goods that we need or raw materials. So it like, instead of having just like, oh well, we're going to go take over this country, and then like because we're going to grow our food there, or we're going to get the oil that we need there. No, fuck that, dude. We just go control them economically, and then they have to sell it to us at a cheaper price, because if we take all of our planes away, their country falls into complete fucking chaos. So instead of being an imperialist nation that goes around and like claims ownership over places, we let them pretend that they're their own country, but we just undermine their entire political mechanism. I mean, I guess this, Global Civics by Zach Elmblad.
Actually, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it like the perfect time right now in England for revolution, because your queen has disappeared?
Is she? I didn't keep tabs on her.
Did she vanish again?
Yeah,
gone?
I think so. They said like she's going away for a bit because she's in her next phase or something.
I did hear about that. What, like some fucking like she's in a cocoon just come out as a wasp or something.
Actually, that's what I'm wondering, because whenever I think of reptilians eating children, I thought it was pretty quick. But apparently, this is gonna take some time.
Right? I always just thought they cracked the neck open and took the spinal fluid directly.
Well, it depends on how big. Like if they're like really huge, they could do like a snake and swallow you whole.
Right. And they have to process the adrenochrome somehow too.
But I don't know, like how.
I don't know about your American reptilians, but British ones, we have to put them in a big bag and a giant kettle, and you have to let them just brew for a while.
The temperature has to be just right.
There's a certain eloquence that the British reptilians like to keep with that. They just cut people's necks like craft sort of thing like that.
They've got a dedicated knife, special monogram, 600 years old.
No. And there's one thing I learned from anime like Dragon Ball or Naruto. The best time to strike an enemy is when they're apparently evolving into their higher form. So that's what your queen is apparently doing. So you gotta strike now, dude. Gotta take down the monarchy while she's evolving.
Did you watch Dragon Ball Super?
Oh, what?
Did you watch Dragon Ball Super, like the new Dragon Ball series?
Oh yeah, Dragon Ball Super. Yep, I watched it.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. It's like my favorite of all of probably my favorite animes of all time.
I like it, but I have my criticisms.
What's your criticism on it?
Okay, Dragon Ball Super. Let's see. I miss like the old animation of like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, where it was hand drawn, a little bit gritty. The new one is a little bit too clean, almost too computer generated. But then again, it's the 2010s. I guess it's the 2020s. My bad. I guess it's to be expected. Another thing is that Goku, his personality has changed vastly. In that he's kind of an amoral idiot. He's a lot like Peter Griffin or Homer Simpson, if you will.
I think I quite like, because I felt like it to me seemed like the natural progression of Goku, because Goku's whole thing was like it was never really so much to save the world. It was more to fight the biggest guy. That was his whole thing, was to sort of fight the biggest guy
Oh
and to
yeah,
prove how strong he is.
yeah.
You
I
just
guess
know how strong he is, and I think like that series with the turn that it took with it, it like really, I don't know, it was my favorite thing. I loved it.
yeah, yeah. I totally agree with you. Because I guess in like the old series of Dragon Ball Z, when they did like the translation to English, I guess apparently the translators thought Goku would be seem too selfish to American audiences based on that. So they took elements and basically made him anime Superman, which
I didn't
in a
know
way
about
he is kind of. But
Yeah.
but yeah, he's just like way too dumb and amoral in Super. In Z, he seemed a little bit more intelligent, kind of had like a moral center. In Super, he's just like, oh gee whiz, I want to fight all these guys. No, I don't care if this tournament will destroy our entire universe. Fuck it, let's do it.
It's amazing. It's so good. I love that. Like Vegeta is the hero. He's more of a hero
Yeah,
in it. It's just this
Vegeta,
amazing
Vegeta,
turn.
the formerly genocidal alien, is the fucking voice of reason now. What a world.
Yeah, big fan of it. Loved it. Had a great time
Uh,
watching it. That's what I did my first lockdown. I just watched all of Dragon Ball Super. It was a good time.
nice. That's awesome, dude. Uh, actually, let's switch topics here a little bit because, like I said, when I've known you, when I first met you, actually, is well, let's go back in time a little bit. When I first met you, I friended you on Facebook, and I first heard of you because I'm a fan of a comedian named James Inman. And when I was looking him up on YouTube, I found an interview that you did with him on one of your very old podcasts. Yeah,
That
so
was a fun interview I did with him. Do you know actually that interview twice?
yep. So that's how
Because I
I
didn't
met.
record the first one because I'm fucking useless.
Wow.
I
I've been
didn't
there,
record it
dude.
by
I have
accident.
I have lost episodes of my podcast, but like the guy would be like, they never re-recorded it. They're like, we sat for 3 hours and your computer fucked up. I don't care. It's like it's gone forever. There is no podcast episode with me on it. So yeah, I feel you, man. I'm glad you redid it.
That's how good Inman is. He's a really nice guy.
Oh, he is. Well, I
You had
got
Inman on your podcast.
Oh no.
Get him. You should get him.
No. I have a reason why. Because
Oh,
before I did this podcast, I decided I wanted to interview people that I liked, and I did two of them. First one was with this Singapore author named A.B. Siahed. I fucked up that name. I'm so sorry. That went good. But my second interview was with James Inman, and boy howdy was it a trial. Because James, because we were doing like back and forth email. You know, I'll put in like 3 questions. He would respond the whole time. Like, holy shit, it took like a month to do because he would like totally like redo his questions. He would get mad if he felt like you were asking the same thing. One time he was like, "Oh my god, this question just made me paranoid as fuck. I have to take a break from this."
wait. So how are you doing it? So were you just doing You weren't
Email.
recording it?
No,
Or were you
no,
going to read the emails out? How are you
no.
doing
This was an article that I made.
Oh, an article. Sorry.
Yeah, this was before podcasting. So so it did that for a little bit, and finally got an interview. You know, finally finished it after over a fucking month, and then I submitted it to this publication that I thought would take it. Never got a response back, which sucked. It's not because of Inman's fault. I don't know why they never responded, but then he started like bugging me afterwards, like, "Hey, when's it gonna be published?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm trying to find a place for it. Give me a sec." That went on for like a month. Then I finally found a place for it, and he had a problem with it.
What was the problem?
Hold on. God damn, this is so fucking stupid. Okay, so it published on there. It was fine. Text was okay, whatever. No, apparently at like the end of the article, there was like a period that was like off, like I double spaced it or whatever. This bugged him. And he's like, have you seen this? I'm autistic and this bugs me. You need to change it. I'm like, okay. So because on this site, you could like go back in, edit stuff. I went back in, I tried to edit it. It wouldn't let me. I don't know why. I just could not like backspace this fucking period. So I'm told, like, dude, I'm sorry. I don't know what the problem with this is. And then for like half a month, he kept bugging me about that. Like, it's a good. I'll do it. I'll do a Doug Stanhope, James Inman impression. It was a good interview, but that fucking period's bugging me. Why can't you fix it? Until finally I just stopped responding because his last message to me was like, hey, I got an idea. How about you give me your username and password and I'll go in and fix it myself.
Wow, man.
And I was like, no, I'm done talking to this guy. So wow.
Talking to him like was fine. I had no problems at all. He was just really nice.
I know it was a great interview. He was really calm, and he talked, especially like to talk about Zen Buddhism, about how he spent time at monastery and that was really interesting, wasn't it? Yeah. So then after that, how should I say this? I like Inman as a comedian and as a writer. Greyhound Diary is one of my favorite ebooks. I don't like him as a person, though. Holy shit. I mean, if anyone listening, just look up James Inman's podcast episodes on the Doug Stanhope podcast. They are both the greatest episodes and like the most infuriating. So that's why I could never have him on, because I think he would just freak the fuck out and it would piss me off. I'd tell him to fuck off. And I'm not up for that. I just can't handle it. But anyway, let's get back to you, man. Because as I known you, I've known you obviously as a podcaster, known you as a comedian, and as a musician. But now you are a writer. You have a book out.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with it.
Yep. Your memories may contain sponsored content. Yeah, let's talk about that, man.
I mean, it's a Christmas book to begin with. It's Christmas set during Christmas time.
Good. Yeah. Okay. So, what is the plot of
it? So it's about basically my idea before writing the book was kind of about that whole Ghost in the Shell thing where you can plug your brain into like cyberspace.
Great anime.
I love Ghost in the Shell. I love the series. It's one of my favorite animes, actually. That's what I see. But I was thinking about like like that. I mean, I was just talking to someone about it, and I just said about how like that became real. They just start implanting like sponsored content into your memories. Like you'll have like this cherished memory of like your like family as a child, but then what you'll most remember about it is like just drinking a really delicious Coke.
Wait. I think there was an episode of Futurama like that too.
I just think about that and I started just sort of thinking about that idea and like how like if you can alter someone's memories, you can alter who they are as a person, because all our personalities are our memories. That's our experience, and if you can work out the correct memories to make someone into this certain person and give those people all those same memories, you could turn people into these perfect consumers that don't ask questions or think for themselves and stuff. That's kind of like where I'm going with the book. And yeah, it's about like a stand-up comedian and drug dealer. that like sort of takes that like, gets the goggles. There's like their goggles that do it. Because I like that old like 80s cyberpunk sort of tactile thing. He puts them on, and yeah, sort of about that. But yeah, it's just the first part of it. Well,
Yeah. Well, yeah. Do you? Is this your first book you've ever published, or have you
yeah,
done
it
anything
is.
else?
I've not written a book before. I've written like comics. I went to film school and like wrote those short films and directed them. And I've got like loads of like scripts, like comic scripts and animation scripts that haven't gone anywhere. But this is like the first like actual like novel-y thing that I've written. Just like it took me a while to get into it, 'cause I had to write those short stories to try and. I was actually going to write this as a short story, but as I was writing it, I just started getting like loads more ideas. So it's going to be
Yeah,
like a.
it'd be like that, man. That's no, I'm not kidding. That's how the Golden series came about. It started off as a short story, which was published in Hup Jamboree, now available through Elmline Media Group. But yeah, it then grew into a series. Okay, did you have a? This is your first time writing a novel. Did you? What was your writing process like for
um. So I started writing it and like just kind of kept editing it as I sort of went along, because I was sort of like writing it and then I'd go back to it and then edit it and sort of like slowly sort of keep going up and down it. Um, I don't know. I don't know what do you mean by like process? Is it like because I just sort of I always like wonder what people mean, like, 'cause I just sort of type the words and it sort of I don't.
Oh,
I,
like how long did it take you? Did you like have a particular setting that you like being in? What like
oh,
what
I
was
see.
what was the process like? Did you sit down, write for a certain amount of time, or
Oh,
was
I
there any
see.
techniques that you used when writing it?
Um, so yeah, I just started like I did actually move. I have like a specific room that I write in, because I did start writing it just in my like bedroom, and like that wasn't good because I just get distracted. And eventually, I just sort of like set a time, and then just took it downstairs and just started writing it for like a few hours, like every day for a while. And then I'd have like these months of writing loads of it, and then I'd get burnt out by it, and then have months of not writing it, and then feel guilty, and then have like more months of not
Uh,
writing it, and eventually, I sort of like got to the point where I reckon this is a point. It's this ties this bit up, and I think then after this it'll get onto a whole new thing. So I was like, I'm gonna release this as the first part of it. Um,
all right. So wait. So how long did it take you?
2 years.
Oh, okay. So first novel. How'd you feel finishing?
I mean, it's technically not finished because it's only the first part of it, so I kind of feel like I feel good that I've finished it, but also annoyed at myself for not finishing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, because
Uh,
I've still got a whole bunch of bits to write and to release, but I feel
uh,
good that I've done a bit of it and it's out. But
everything you said, I know what you're talking about more than you will ever know. No, that's just part of being a writer, I guess. Especially, I guess, us indie writers, if you want to use that. Especially because, we got our other interests, we got our day jobs. It's really just, you got to do the best you can. Whether it's finding out when you can write, how much you can write, even like the style you're writing. You just got to go with it. And yeah, you mentioned feeling guilty, for not writing during certain times. Yeah, again, I know how you feel. I can't count how many times I just beat the shit out of myself because, like, I didn't finish at this time or I didn't do this when I wanted to. Actually, there was 2 years ago, 2020. Right in the middle of the pandemic, I went on a writer's retreat. For 1 week, right here in Kalamazoo. Checked into one of the long-term hotels around here. Totally fucking bombed it. I got 1 chapter done out of that fucking adventure, but yeah, I felt bad about it, but now I really don't, because it's all a process. You learn your limitations, you learn your strengths, and you build up from there.
I remember like when the pandemic happened and like we were put into lockdown, and I was thinking, oh, you know what, I could finish off my book now. And I remember there was a big part of me was like, what's the point? Everything's going to shit. Like, because you saw when it all happened, you're like, what is this? What's going to happen with the world? And you think this is a whole
Yeah.
new thing. I would just think, well, what's the point? Well, if everyone's dead and no one's going to read my book, so I just watched anime instead, which is a huge waste of my time. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember just being like really nihilistic because I was watching like I
Yeah,
was with my mum and I was watching the 24-hour news cycle with her, and it was like just
which is a
pointless.
very healthy thing to do during a pandemic,
God, yeah,
as we
but
all know.
it was like watching like, but it's just this morbid curiosity of like, see, you get to watch like a post-apocalyptic film like in real time. It's what it felt like
Yeah.
watching it, and it was like
Yeah.
really frightening and like kind of like, oh, this is interesting. But then it just ended up being like, oh no, we're all gonna die, we're all gonna die. And you see all those hospital beds and go, that's gonna be me, and I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna have a thing going down my throat, and I'm gonna. But then I've actually had COVID, and it was fine.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, I had it like summer. I think it's a Delta. I don't know which one it was. Probably the Delta. I got
This past summer.
yeah, like summer just been. I got like sick for about like there was like 2 days where I just really couldn't do anything, and then after that I was just like tired I was tired for about maybe 3 weeks after it. And I went like deaf in one ear for a while, which was the only really scary part. Like I could kind of hear out of it, but it was like it needed to pop and wouldn't. I think my glands were swollen. Yeah,
Oh
it's
shit,
fine.
dude. Are you all right? Any
Yeah,
long
fine.
term
Nothing.
problems?
No, I don't think so. I'm like fine. I think, but it wasn't just that bad. But like, I'm like, I'm 32. It's not. I'm not. I don't feel I'm the age group that's going to be a big problem. So I was never really that concerned about it. I know people have died younger than me, but it's like it's only really like when you're older, it's like a big concern about it.
God, you know what one of the nicknames for COVID was when it first happened, and it was basically taking out all the older folks. Boomer remover.
I don't think I ever heard that one. That's good.
That's one of the very morbid nicknames for it.
I like that.
And there was a meme to go back to Dragon Ball Z. During the Boo saga, when Boo shoots off that attack that just wipes out everyone on Earth, they did that, but they changed the beams to like, the 3D COVID drawing. Then it has Boo saying human extinction technique.
Did
either of you get COVID? If you had that, yeah.
No, thank God.
My roommate did, but we were fine. I don't know. I didn't get it.
Yeah, he's up and at them. He's in Argentina right now.
He is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't get it, but my mom got it.
Oh God.
Well, she was all right. Like you, she felt sick for like 2 days. But strangest thing was that she went in first because she thought she had strep throat. Then they just did the rapid test. It's like, oh, you got COVID. And unlike you, she didn't get like the COVID symptoms, like going deaf or anything. It just felt like a strep throat.
Yeah. I'll tell you. But yeah, see what the Omega strain is. That's whatever it is. Which one
Omega
is it?
strain.
You're right. That is the last one, right? What do they do after that?
Is that
Do
the
they
last
start?
one?
Do they start going to a different alphabet? Maybe they start Cyrillic.
When will someone unironically call it the Ligma strain?
The Ligma.
Did you guys watch the South Park special, like the post-COVID one?
Yes, I did watch that on YouTube. Wow.
It's like
They're gonna
40
do
years in the future, and it's like just getting over COVID.
Yeah, it's implied that Kenny, when he goes back to the past, brings COVID to the future and sets it all off again. And yeah, they're gonna do another special where they go back in time, meet their younger selves. Which I guess, God, I used to love South Park. I still do, but can't watch it due to not having cable. But apparently, they did have like a version of themselves come back from the future to speak with them. So so it's like, okay, how are they gonna react to this other future versions of themselves? Then I remember them thinking deeply about South Park here.
It's supposed to not have continuity, right?
It
South
does
Park.
now.
It does now.
It kind of it's a little bit better than The Simpsons. Let's put it that
Okay.
way.
Okay.
Where Simpsons is like all over.
Oh, God, I was watching The Simpsons the other day, and
Oh, I'm
they
sorry,
had-
dude. Bad.
they had like Homer as like a teenager, and he was like in the 90s with like
God
listening to,
damn
like,
it.
Run DMC and shit. And I was just thinking, you know what? The day when they show Homer Simpson as a teenager and he's listening to emo music is the day I know I'm fucking old.
Yeah.
He just keeps
Yeah.
he keeps getting closer to my age, and I'm like, oh no.
He tries to introduce.
He's wearing skinny jeans and like.
He's supposed to be 30 something, right? He's
Yeah,
like
yes.
35.
36 to 38, I think.
He grew
I'm
up
getting
in the
close to it.
60s.
I'm getting
I
close to
am
it.
literally 36 years old.
Wow,
I am Homer Simpson.
You're just like Homer Simpson.
I am. I'm bald.
Well, you don't got
Yellow.
like a W for hair, and then
Well, if I don't shave my head, definitely you see some W's, little W's.
Go for it.
form.
watch. The Simpsons will continue going on for decades. Then he'll show Homer listen to SoundCloud rap.
I think I just discovered next year's Christmas Halloween costume though.
Oh, boy.
I'm definitely gonna be Homer Simpson. I'll just like cover my whole head yellow, like not shave for like 3 days right here, and then wear jeans and a white polo. It's on, dude. It's easy.
Okay, so the series. This is book 1, correct?
Yes.
How many you got left to write?
I don't know. I know how it ends, but I don't know how long it's going to take to get there.
Yeah, there.
So I'd like 3. 3 would be good. It won't be 3, it'd be more than that, I imagine. Maybe.
Trilogy.
Yeah, it might be 4. I don't know. I know what the next one is, and I know one after that. So it's probably gonna be more than that. I reckon maybe 4 or 5. I hope not. I can't be bothered to write that many. I'd want to write something new after that. It's pain, isn't it? You see this, I'll do this series, and you're like, I just want to do something new.
Yeah, feel that too.
I feel like I've heard this conversation from this direction, this way.
What's that one Neil Young song? Old man, look at my life. I'm a lot like you were. Wait, how old are you?
32.
32.
How
How
old are
old?
you? 32.
Oh, 34. God, you're fucking old.
I'm the ancient one here, yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, by the way, Grandpa, thanks for hosting this Zoom.
My pleasure. I wish my webcam had better quality. A little 720p South Korean MSI. Like,
God, how will you ever listen to songs like Bitches and Golden Eye again?
I actually really liked MSI as a company. I'm completely satisfied with this machine.
Yeah, I have to say too, being a Christmas special and all, at least you, Tom, you had the notion to get a background that is Christmassy. You know, we should have thought about that.
I know. It's a missed opportunity.
It's too late now.
Dude, we fucked up the last episode too. It was in October, but we didn't say anything about Halloween. We fucked up there.
Yeah, but just because it's a Christmas special or a Halloween special doesn't mean that the listener will be experiencing it at the same time. So
It means something to me, goddamn. No, I checked my anchor statistics, and currently the two big ones being listened to are my Christmas episodes,
Interesting.
the Christmas and Alpinus episodes.
It's only because the word penis is in the title.
Maybe that is Alpina's nickname. Tell me, Tom, where you're currently at? Is there any nicknames for your town?
Salty Gash.
Salty Gash.
Yeah, which is not as good. I call it Saltrash, which I think is better than Salty Gash.
Okay, I'm trying to think of a title, and I don't know. Would Gash get me zucked?
Might do.
I know.
It depends.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of what should we do for Kalamazoo.
Kalabama. That's
Kalabama.
what my friend Ben always says, that Kalabama.
Kalabama might work. I was thinking Kalamazoo, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, we had a tragic shooting here recently on a bus, so that might be a little bit too insensitive at the moment to say episode whatever, Christmas in Kalamazoo and Saltash.
Simultaneous Christmas.
Yeah, I know. All right. God, what else should we talk about?
I don't know, man. You don't have a list?
No, I don't. I completely fucked up.
You so diligently prepared your introduction, and you don't have any topics. We talked about new things that he has done. What are you putting out soon?
Oh, that's a good topic. Thank you, Zachary. I will talk about on my podcast what I'm doing. No, actually, just before you came on, we finally finished and uploaded the 5th anniversary edition of Animaki, my very first novel.
Cool.
Put out 5th anniversary edition, restored text, new intro, new art by Tony McMillan. It's awesome. And Zach, thank you for putting it out. For those who haven't listened, I put my hand on his shoulder.
There's a thud.
Yeah, doing that because it was hell on earth for you.
This one was tough. Yeah. I had a lot of formatting issues. And for whatever reason, Adobe InDesign has been giving me a bunch of grief, but we got there. It's all technical details.
Yeah. When I came here in November, we did not podcast that time because it was late at night. We were both fucking tired.
It was a long day.
Yeah, especially me too, because I had to fucking work that day, and
I'm sure I probably did too. I don't remember things that happened in the past.
Yeah. I think that's all the drugs you've done in your life.
I've never done a single drug.
Oh yeah, you're right. My mistake, Zachary Allwad. No drugs for you, Mr. Straight Edge.
Never, not once.
But yeah, that's what I got going on. It's we uploaded it, so it should be available this month, probably before Christmas.
Cool.
Yeah.
Whereabouts can people get it?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question. No, same place. Lulu, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Gumroad, Smashwords. I'll probably have some copies on hand, so message me. I'll send you one. No, I've done that before. It's worked out pretty well, actually.
Yeah. You can meet people in McDonald's parking lots.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I was handing out copies in McDonald's parking lot. That worked very well. All right. Well, dude, God, what time is it? Well, it's 4:12 here. Was it like 9:12 where you're at?
9:12, yeah.
Yeah,
we're
dude. What you
solid
got,
2 hour mark.
yeah, what you got going on for the rest of the night?
What's that?
What you got going on for the rest of the night?
Got a bed soon. Got to get up early tomorrow. But I'll probably, don't know. I'll probably might watch something. Don't know what. Let's see. Oh, can I plug some stuff before I disappear?
Yeah, holy shit. Yeah, God. I'm really off. It's been a hard 2 months. I've been on a basically holiday schedule at my work. So it's like 50, 60-hour weeks.
Oh God,
I
that's
know.
ridiculous. He can't make people work that long. That's got to be.
Oh, the
horrific.
warehouse can, my friend. Indeed, they can. So yeah, Tom, let's hear your pluggables, man.
So obviously got a book. It's on Amazon. I've not put on anything else because I don't know. Just haven't. It's more laziness than a loyalty to our corporate overlords, Jeff Bezos. Just saying to put on other things. But it's on Amazon. You can get it there. I do a Monster of the Week podcasty thing, which is called the Town Council of the Obanus Isles, and that's on YouTube. The Robot Republic. That's what I do it for. That's like really fun, really funny. There's a lot of British folklore stuff, a lot of fey creatures, and just I don't know, it's a lot of fun to do. And what was the other thing that I do? I'm doing the Pokemon thing for them as well. I'm gonna do a new podcast in the new year, but yeah, generally Town Council, the Eben the Cells, and the books are the main things that I'm proud of that I'm doing at the moment.
Very nice. Zach?
Got nothing coming out soon, but we have started working on mixing the Conrad Twitty full length again. So even though that's been an ongoing project since 2015, it sounds like it's going to wrap soon. And we've been playing. I don't think we'll play any shows in 2022, but we might do some live stream stuff. Who knows? But I'm still just working on all private shows and invite only stuff, so I can't really plug anything publicly other than I've got some YouTube videos on my personal channel repairing a piano that I'm working on, and then Normal on Trial, I'm still working on that manuscript, and follow my Instagram for concert photos.
Okay, I gotta
That's
get
what I
that
got.
link from you.
Yeah,
All right, folks, and
it's at Zach Elm.
yeah. All right, folks, you know everything from me. Anchor, YouTube, Spotify. You can find this podcast everywhere. Check me out on Twitter at Garret Schuelke. And yeah, links will be there. Yeah, I think this is it, man. I think we're done with this podcast.
Oh, I have a Twitter as well. So
Oh, you do? Oh, yeah, indeed you do.
What is it?
Dr. Rhubarb. I always forget to do that. Forget to see my Twitter.
Everything will be in the show notes. Everyone go there immediately, click on it. Well, that does it, gentlemen. Yes, please
stop recording.
No, not yet. No,
Not
no.
yet?
No, give me. Let me do this outro. God damn it. Okay.
Outro it. You click.
Okay. No. So yeah. Thanks, folks, for listening. That was the Christmas special here at GSB. Zach, thank you for hosting, and thank you for all your hard work on Blaze Hanamaki and on the secret project I'm working on. Wink, wink. Tom, thank you for being on. And, yeah, dude, it's great talking with you again.
Oh, you too. Thank you so much for having me on. Thanks for hosting it, Zach. It's great talking to the pair of you. I had a really nice time.
Yeah, dude. As always, next year we'd love to have you on if something else comes up.
I'll get you on my my podcast, my new one when I get that.
Oh, hell yeah!
Yeah,
all right,
really cool.
All right, folks. That's it. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Science Mass for all you atheists out there. And yeah, that's the show. Here is the outro song. Now you can click it.
Now I can click it.
Yeah, that.
Is that what you're talking about? What? Random things. It'd be the psychobillies. They've got
train wreck crashing on TV. See us and laugh because that's not me. My husband raped me when she said my best friend Merv. Bitterness and cheating, but she got what she deserved. A man with an ass who faces shit as he talks. People have to say my fate, but they don't jump on the talks. But is he that much different to you? Sit and watch him and his human too. White trash, gay bash, race, war, town hall, blood test, fake breast, midget bros, on the floor, gay, fight the Jews, on the heads and one day food show, can't see ya. Midget couple five people all look boo. Here's my shout, hey, they follow we do. It translates once get his leg amputated. People yell flake, he can feel the hatred. You know his pregnant tells me all she wants. A boyfriend could have got everyone, definitely a nut. I'll listen more after the anthem. But stick around cause the free titty woman take off her shirt. White trash, gay bash, race, war, town hall, blood test, fake breast, midget bros, on the floor, gay, fight the Jews, on the heads and one day free show, can't see you. Gamma rates the base so it gets cancer. When it grows up and inspire, hope wants to be a dancer. Have sex with a dancer, just get sex for his own. Praise a God, full of a mower in his bone. Sing a full of every day, sing cheese. Make a sharp as rapid aging disease. Monday picture, Monday picture, Monday picture, Monday picture.
That was amazing.